focus on growth. Okay, focus on growth. When this topic crossed my mind, the first thing I said to myself is focus on growth as opposed to what? Okay, focus on growth as opposed to what? And I said to myself, as opposed to wondering why things are not working out for you, or why some other person has achieved or is achieving what you are yet to achieve. Okay, instead of focusing on what's not working, instead of questioning your experience, questioning your growth or your process, questioning your process, I want you to focus on growth. Instead of focusing on failure, focus on growth. Instead of focusing on setbacks, focus on growth. Instead of focusing on what people are supposed to do for you that they have not done for you, focus on growth. Instead of focusing on what people think about you or what you think they think about you, focus on growth. And I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I am asking you to focus on growth. This is the first one. It is because growth is your design. Growth is your design. What do I mean? You were designed to keep evolving till you exit the earth. Okay? You were designed to keep growing, to keep evolving till you exit the earth. So when you stop growing, you start dying. Okay? When you stop growing, you start dying. John Maxwell says it this way: some people are dead. They've not just made it official yet. This is what I have found out. When you stop growing, fulfillment will begin to elude you. Why? Because that's your design. So when you are not growing, it means that you are functioning contrary to design. You were designed to grow and to keep growing till you exit the earth. The second reason why I'm asking you to focus on growth is because growth is a requirement. Okay? Growth is a requirement. To maintain relevance, you have to keep growing. I have discovered that human needs are insatiable. Success, therefore, is a moving target. What people celebrated yesterday will become normal tomorrow. I mean, think about it. Nobody claps for a 5-year-old for running, but when he took his first step, they did. And that's the reason why some things you did 2 years ago or 5 years ago that people celebrated, when you do them now, is just normal. So it's not like people don't like you. The problem is people don't need you. They are 2 different things. People may like you, but not need you. And when people don't need you, they don't clamor for your attention, and they don't clamor for your contribution, for your opinion, for your advice, simply because what you are bringing to the table is not affecting their bottom line. That's the reason why you want to keep growing. Okay, I said because growth is your design. I said number 2, because growth is a requirement. If you are going to maintain relevance, you have to keep growing. You have to keep solving problems and adding value to people on a greater level, on a greater dimension. This is the 3rd reason why I am asking you to keep growing. It is because more often than not, focus inspires recognition. Focus inspires recognition. What am I saying? You are likely not to see what you are not looking for. You are likely not to see what you are not looking for. So when you focus on growth, you will easily recognize learning opportunities and you will be able to maximize them and therefore optimize, or rather, what's the word I'm looking for now? Expedite your success. Okay. When you focus on growth, you will recognize learning opportunities faster and therefore expedite your success. What are we talking about? I'm asking you to focus on growth. Don't focus on setbacks. Don't focus on the pain. Don't even focus on the success of other people. Don't even focus on why. Sometimes we are just busy asking the question, why? I told you in the last teaching series we did, yes, when things are not going the way you want them to go, you want to research what you are dealing with and extract valuable data. But you don't do that forever. You can't allow yourself to be trapped in your past. You can't even allow yourself to be trapped in your past victories. You've got to learn to celebrate and then let it go and then move forward, because growth is your design. So when you are not growing, fulfillment will elude you. I said number 2, growth is a requirement. When people don't need you, they won't call for you. It's not like they don't like you, but your contribution is not affecting their bottom line. Let me give a very practical example of that. You see, because we are humans, we can be very sentimental, but you need to be honest with yourself and tell you the truth. Now, when you were a kid, okay, say maybe when you were 3, 4, 5, the knowledge of your parents was perhaps more than enough to support your education. And what do I mean? Whatever homework you get, okay, you can ask your dad, and even without bothering themselves or anything, they answer all your questions. When you got to secondary school, they probably got a teacher for you. And it's not because they don't care. It is because they are beginning to realize that it is not everything that you need to learn that they can teach you. By the time you get to the university, for most people, your parents are no longer qualified to educate you. They still love you. They still care about you. They perhaps are still funding your education, but their capacity can no longer educate you. So you love them. But if you are going to grow in your knowledge of physics, chemistry, or whatever it is that you studied, you can no longer seek their opinion because they don't know what you need to know. So other people become relevant to you as far as your education is concerned. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you are going to maintain relevance in the lives of the people you're doing life with, you're doing business with, okay, you have to continue to grow. Of course, our relationships change and evolve. Somebody who is your teacher today can just be a mentor tomorrow, can be a friend tomorrow, okay? But if that person does not keep growing, you get to a point where you have some people in your life, and honestly, the only reason or the only purpose they fulfill in your life is perhaps just warmth. And I'm asking you not to be that person. Okay, don't be that person, okay, that all people, get from you is just that, emotional support, chit chat from once in a while. The way you were designed to maintain relevance till you exit the earth. Okay, you were designed to maintain relevance till you exit the earth. I told you, focus inspires recognition. So the moment you focus on growing, you will easily recognize opportunities for learning, and you'll be able to optimize them and expedite your success. But as we proceed, let me sound a big note of warning. Continuous growth is not automatic. Continuous growth is not automatic. I have found out that the older we get, the more difficult it is for us to grow. Okay? The older we get, the more difficult it is for us to grow. Why? Because of conditioning. You see, for you to succeed, especially for those who are professionals or even in business, for you to succeed, you have to learn to do specific things or certain things over and over again, and you have to master certain skills and become very proficient in them. There's just one challenge. When you get to the point where you have mastered some skills, for most people, we now get conditioned, because it takes a lot to get to where you have gotten to. If care is not taken, you can suffer from what I call, battle fatigue. You're just tired of learning, tired of changing, tired of evolving, tired of growing. And what happens to such persons is you begin to tap into your past to solve the problems of today. You tap into your past to solve the problems of today. Now, anytime something comes up, you would notice you are always telling stories of what you did 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And the reason is because you're not learning new things. And so you are not attempting new things. You are doing things the same old way you have done them, because continuous improvement is not automatic. What I'm saying to you is, to keep growing, you have to be intentional. If you are going to keep growing, you have to be intentional. Look at the way John Maxwell describes it. He said, change is inevitable. Growth is optional. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. In other words, the passing of time does not guarantee that you are growing. That you are growing old does not mean you are growing smarter. That you are growing older does not mean you are getting better. I'm reminded of the words of Pat Riley, where he said, if you are not getting better, you are getting worse. So if you are going to keep growing and getting better, you have to be intentional. You have to be clear about exactly what you are doing to grow. Somebody I respect a lot is Craig Groeschel. He had something to say about this intentionality. Look at what Craig Groeschel said. He said, if you are not intentionally preparing for growth, you are unintentionally preparing for decline. If you are not intentionally preparing for growth, you are unintentionally preparing for decline. So, my question to you today is, are you growing? What exactly are you doing intentionally to continue to grow as a person? Okay, somebody's wondering, so how do I know if I'm growing? Okay, how do I know if I'm growing? Quickly, I'm going to run through 5 factors, okay, that you can use to measure if you are growing. All right, quickly, how do I know if I am growing as a person? Number 1 is fulfillment. Okay, fulfillment. No matter what is going on around you, deep within you, you are going to feel this deep sense of satisfaction. Okay, it only happens to people that are growing. If you are not growing, you will have turmoil within you. You see, no matter what people are saying externally, people may be commending you, but you are not going to be happy with yourself deep inside. And it is because you are not growing. The first way to measure if you are growing is fulfillment. If you are not fulfilled at your tasks, even when you get commendation, it means that you know deep within. You know, most of the time, people don't know your true potential. You are the one that knows that they may be celebrating me right now, but I can do much more than I am doing. So there's no deep satisfaction within you. It is proof that you are not growing. Number 2 is change. Okay? Change. New productive habits are signs of growth. New productive habits are signs of growth. If you are doing things better than you did them before, then you are growing. Then you are changing. If the way you get things done has not improved in the last 6 months, it means you have not grown in the last 6 months. Okay, the question we are answering is, how do I know if I am growing as a person? We said fulfillment. Number 2 is change. Number 3 is improved performance. Improved performance. If you are producing predetermined results faster and better, then you are growing. If you are producing predetermined results faster and better, then you are growing. Let me back up a little bit, because the second point and the third point may be so similar and confusing for some people. The second point is change. Okay. And there I'm talking about new productive habits. Okay. See, at that point, people may not notice that you are doing things differently. At point number 2, it is you that knows. I'm not doing it the same way. Okay. I'm not approaching my task the same way because I learned a better way to do it and I'm doing things better. See, but at number 3, what you started doing at number 2 will now begin to show. Now, it is other people that will now begin to tell you, okay, they will start giving you that feedback on the job, your clients, your customers. Oh, I like the way you're doing things now. Oh, you delivered this thing to me faster. All right. You produce results fast. Maybe you were supposed to present a report. Normally it would have taken you maybe like 2 weeks. Now you're doing it in 7 days. Of course, it is because you are growing. Number 4 is empathy. Okay. Empathy. The ability to see issues from multiple perspectives. You see, as we mature, okay, it dawns on us that there truly are more than one way to look at issues. A major sign of immaturity is you see things from your own perspective, you fight for your own perspective, you stick to your guns, you stick to your way. For the person that is immature, it is your way or the highway. But for the person that is growing and maturing, you will begin to see other people's perspectives. You don't have to agree with them, but you feel what they feel. You understand what they understand. Okay. You know, sometimes what people are asking for is not that you change your mind. All they are asking for is that you see them, you hear them, you feel them. So the degree to which you can empathize is the degree to which you are evolving and you are growing as a person. The 5th, okay, measure I'm going to give you, in my opinion, is the most important, and it is feedback. Okay, feedback. But let me explain myself. I'm talking about unsolicited feedback from people that are very close to you. You see, most of the time when you are changing, they are the last to notice because they are so close to you, and because of that proximity. And real change happens in slow motion. Okay? Real change happens in slow motion. And that's the reason why sometimes you may be growing and not notice that you are growing. But when the people that are very close to you begin to tell you that things are changing for the better, the way you talk, the way you behave, the way you deliver results, truly you are growing. Our topic for the next 3 weeks is focus on growth. And as we begin to wind it down tonight, I want to show you 3 areas of focus, 3 major areas of focus. From next week, that's what I'm going to begin to talk about. When I talk about focus on growth, I want to suggest that you focus on these 3 major areas as far as changing and as far as growing is concerned. The first one is your mindset. You want to work on your mindset. And I'm going to give you some suggestions tonight. You want to work on your mindset, the way you see life and the way you think. So when I talk about working on your mindset, I'm saying you want to make sure you switch from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset says, this is how I am. This is what I can do. A growth mindset says, I am growing, I am evolving. Therefore, this is what I can do now, and I will definitely do it better next time. I am growing, I am evolving, I am not fixed. All right. So when you see a fixed mindset says, I can't. All right. A growth mindset says, I cannot do it yet. There's the possibility that I will do it better because I can learn. So when I talk about working on your mindset, I'm asking you to switch from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. You want to have that kind of attitude that says, look, the resources in the world, opportunities in the world, they are abundant. In other words, there is a chance for me. There's an opportunity for me. There is enough resources to go around. People with an abundance mindset tend to be generous. People with an abundance mindset, they tend to be collaborative. People with a scarcity mindset, they are very competitive because in their mind, resources won't go around, opportunities won't go around. Okay. If I don't get it, all right, nobody else will get it. An abundance mindset says there is enough for all of us. So if you get it before me, does not mean I'm not going to get. All right. That's why they are generous. To work on your mindset, I am asking you to make a switch from being an expert to becoming a learner. You see, experts are always trying to prove a point. Experts defend their position with everything they get. Experts cannot afford to make mistakes. All right. Because when they make mistakes, it tells on them. Every mistake they make, all right, is a sign of incompetence. See, but for a learner, everything is an experiment. So if things don't work out the way they expect things to work out, it's the experiment that did not work. It is not a reflection of their personality or their competence. As a matter of fact, everything they do is an opportunity to learn, not an avenue to prove a point. If you are going to continue to grow, you have to work on your mindset. I said I need you to switch from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. You want to make the switch from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. And you want to switch from an expert's mindset to a learner's mindset. We're talking about 3 major areas you want to focus on if you want to keep growing. From next week, we're going to pick them one after the other. I'm going to share with you practical steps, okay, that you're going to take to guarantee that you keep growing as a person. The second area I want you to focus on is personal efficiency. Okay, personal efficiency. At this point now, I'm talking about putting your best foot forward. Okay, putting your best foot forward. We're going to explore principles that would help you work more in your area of strength instead of just hustling. That's what I notice. That's a lot of people do. They are just hustling. Any opportunity, they take it. Now, you need to understand that when you walk in an area of weakness, all right, you are actually sabotaging yourself. You're shooting yourself in the foot, all right, when you walk in an area of weakness. And so this is my advice. If you are the boss, learn to delegate and empower other people. Okay? if anybody around you can do what you are doing up to 60% of your capacity, please delegate it. Now somebody's wondering, what if I am not the boss? You negotiate. So if you are the boss, delegate. If you are not the boss, negotiate. And what do I mean by that? Communicate your strengths. Let the person you report to know, look, this is what I love doing. This is what I know how to do, and I can guarantee you results. And you see, the moment you start producing outstanding results, your boss is not going to tell you what to do. You are going to be allowed to do whatever it is that you know how to do well. You see, at the beginning, everything will be thrown at you. But you need to understand you've got to be an entrepreneur even when you are in paid employment, when you are not the boss. And what do I mean by that? You have to take initiative. You have to put yourself in a position to produce your best results. Therefore, negotiate your tasks. Okay? Don't just do everything. Listen, this is what I'm trying to say. When you continue to do things that you're not very good at, it paints you bad. It puts you in the wrong light. All right? Because you see, you will not be able to excel in those things. That's why you want to negotiate to be at your best. I remember so many years ago, I was working for my pastor, and then, he gave me a number of tasks, and I was delivering results. What I'm sharing with you, okay, was what I did then. And there were some certain things I asked me to do that I didn't do. And then one day we were talking, and he said to me, I asked you to do this thing and you did not do it. And I said to him, sir, this is the reason why I did not do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And instead of not doing these things, these are the things that I'm doing and I'm bringing to the table. And then he looked at me, smiled, and then we moved on to something else. You've got to learn to negotiate. At a point, long before remote working became a thing, okay, I negotiated to work from home. And I told my boss, I said, listen, I found out, sir, that my personality is not the type that just sits behind the desk. I'm an ideas guy. I'm a strategy guy. As long as I don't have to sit behind the desk, I will deliver all the results you will have me deliver. And he said, no problem. We tried it for a while and it worked. See, this is what I found out. In most organizations, nobody really cares when you show up or when you leave. What people really care about is that you deliver results. Okay, and that's why you want to negotiate. If you are the boss, don't make the mistake. Don't do things to show that you are busy. No, do the things that you can do better than the average person around. So, delegate as much as you can. Do the things that nobody but you can do. If you are not the boss, negotiate. In the beginning, you may have to do everything, but as you gain trust, as you produce outstanding results, negotiate so that you can be in a position to continue to deliver excellent results. Okay, we're talking about personal efficiency. If you want to grow, it is an area where you have to work. What am I saying? I'm asking you to do your best work when you are at your best. Okay, do your best work when you are at your best. And we're going to explore ideas in this area in subsequent sessions. You want to do your best work when you are at your best. That's the reason why you want to display competence early enough so that people can trust you to control your time. Oh, there's a beautiful book I read so many months ago, and it really, really inspired and helped me. It's the book To Be Your Best by Carey Nieuwhof. And the concept of that book is how that you have your green zone, you have your orange zone, you have your red zone. Your green zone are those hours in a day where you are at your best, right? You have your amber zone where you are not weak, but you are not at your very best. And of course, you have your red zone where you shouldn't even do anything. What you do in your red zone should just be probably exercise, watch TV in your red zone. What Carey Nieuwhof recommends in that book is that you do your most important work in your green zone. Now, for this principle to work best for you, you've got to be in a position to control your time. And I'll give you a personal example. I'm a morning person, a very early morning person. Most days of the week, by latest about 8 or 9 a.m., my most important work for the day is done. Okay, so as a matter of practice, I don't fix meetings, all right, appointments with people before 12 noon because I want to do my best work. Okay, I want to do my best work. So I'm up from around 3 a.m. So between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m., I am at my very best. I am at my sharpest. And that is when I do my most valuable work. But all of that will be difficult if you can't control your time. And so if you're listening to me, I remember so many years ago, I had the privilege of discussing this with one of my mentors, and I was telling him then I was in paid employment, how that I can't control my time. And he said, yes, I understand. He said, but the challenge is a lot of people in paid employment complain about not being able to control their time when they are on the job. He said, but what they refuse to account for is how they use their time outside of work. So before you can control your time on the job, you have to learn to maximize your time off the job. A lot of people don't prioritize rest and recreation. A lot of people don't prioritize, their weekends and do creative work in their weekends. All right. If you work in a busy city like Lagos, you have to learn to have margin. You can't afford to be externally busy and then expect yourself to be internally creative. It doesn't work that way. Okay, so we are going to explore that together. It's an area I want you to look into so that you can expand your capacity in that area. Do your best work when you are at your best. When I talk about personal efficiency, I am asking you to invest more of yourself in people and places where you are appreciated or you are most likely to be appreciated, instead of placing yourself at the disposal of people who don't value you, who don't see what you're bringing to the table. Now, it's not because you are not important. It is because you were not designed for them. So if you're going to be personally efficient, you want to make sure that you are investing yourself, more of yourself, in people and places that place value on your contribution, instead of people that don't see your true potential or don't see the value in your contribution. I'm sharing with you 3 major ideas I want you to focus on if you're going to keep growing. In subsequent sessions, I will share practical ideas of the steps to take in those 3 different areas. I said the first one is your mindset. Second one, just a moment. Yeah. The second one is personal efficiency. And the third one is association and environment. Association and environment. This is another big area where you want to work hard, okay, to grow in. You see, the quality of your life determines the quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Okay. It was Charles Jones that said the person you will be in the next 5 years will be determined by the books you read and the people that you relate with. King Solomon said it differently. He said, he that walks with the wise shall be wise. A companion of fools shall be destroyed. I say it in another way, that your company is your prophecy. Your company is your prophecy. The quality of your life will be determined by the quality of your relationships. So you want to work hard on your relationships. And if you're going to work hard on your relationships, you will start by working hard on yourself. There's something called the law of attraction. It says that who you are will determine who you can keep in your life. The Bible says it this way: iron sharpens iron. So the quality of the people that you want to do life with, okay, should be the quality of investment that you make in yourself. And that's why this is another big area that you want to focus on and work, okay, on. I want you to ask yourself this question: how do I become the person that the people I want in my life need in their lives? I'm going to read it again. I would ask you to write it down for those who are taking notes. How do I become the person that the people I want in my life need in their lives? See, I want them, okay? But what guarantees that they will stay in my life is that they should need me. Okay, let me say it again. How do I become the person that the people I want in my life need in their lives? That is what this is all about. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the next 3 weeks as we continue to focus on growth. How do I become the person that the people I want in my life need in their lives? Okay? Put a second question to it. Who do I have to become? Who do I have to become? If you can answer these questions and then you develop a personal growth routine to become that person, your growth is guaranteed. Your success is inevitable. Ladies and gentlemen, it's on that note that I'm going to wrap up tonight's session, and then we continue next week, Wednesday.